Hi everyone, I'm Joel Baird, the General Manager of Missoula Community Access Television.
And I'm Kim Anderson, a board member of Missoula Community Access Television and an Associate Director of Humanities Montana.
And we've got a few things to say about our respective organizations before we begin our talk show portion. I have a few things, and I think I have them in order. On April 4th, MCAT has been doing the first Friday artist gallery walk for, it'll be 2 years in July, people. And in April...
Doesn't seem longer.
It does, somehow. There's been a lot going on. I was thinking
There's been a lot of art that's gone through the building, which is great.
Oh, good. Okay, so here's Maria Witham.
Oh, yeah.
And she is the featured artist of April.
Wow.
And this is one of her works there. It's kind of, in her notes, she said that her work is inspired by religious iconography and alien. Thoughts about aliens, mixing spirituality,
Very
aliens,
interesting.
chariots of the gods. But this, I really like that. It makes me think of that Greek Orthodox painting, that has a lot of that two-dimensional decorative.
Yes.
And then a kind of alien in almost like a space thing or something.
It does have a Byzantine feel.
Yeah, it doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's Maria's sample of her art, and you're more than welcome, Missoula public, to come here Friday, April the 4th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and see this work in person. We have a slight reception.
Yes, there are
there's
snacks.
Like beer and wine and snacks.
Yeah, it's very nice.
On April 9th, Wednesday, the second Wednesday of every month is orientation time for MCAP for new prospective members to come. They get a little tour of the facility, a look at the cameras we have, and the post-production environment. And that could take 2 hours if you're really into it, and an hour if you just want to see what we're about.
Well, it's sophisticated equipment.
And it's free.
Yeah.
And the public is generally invited. So on to MCAT. Get done with it.
Look at all our posters.
Yeah, we got posters. So there's two pressing items. One, the Creative Cat Film Contest.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, we've never done it before, so it's my favorite too. The other ones I just see as a pile of work. So this is an opportunity to, and the deadline is wrong on that graphic as well as this poster. The deadline is now April 22nd, I think like a week after tax deadline.
Good idea.
Under 2 minutes, absolutely free to enter. The first prize is a year of free cat food, $365, which is like Fancy Feast Primavera.
And everyone who has a
90
cat
cents.
thinks their cat is the most hysterical, adorable thing on the planet.
Which I'm sure is true.
So
It just needs
get
a
your
slight
camera
bit of
out.
documentation. That's all it's lacking. So, how would you deliver this to us? Well, we're so sophisticated now that we would say, well, you could post it to YouTube and send us the link, or Vimeo or some other place.
Easy.
You could push a DVD through our door here. Just make sure your name and phone number is on it so we can contact you about that prize you're going to get. There are other prizes. Area veterinarians have responded with certificates for free service as runner-up prizes. And the store called 406 Zoo Missoula on the corner of Higgins and Broadway, they have offered us coffee mugs and T-shirts and some other 406 emblazoned insignia. So I think that's worth it, and you have to April 22nd to give us a cute cat. Is it too soon to talk about the summer? Probably.
Oh, why not?
MCAT is once again offering our slate of summer camps for kids ages 9 to 13. Kids of other ages will see what develops as spring saps along. But right now, we're asking 9 through 13. Media camp is like a tour of different media outlets in town. Last year, the kids went to KCI at KPAX. Thank you, Scott Ramp. They also went to KUFM and Cherry Creek Radio. They made documentaries about the people and things they encountered there. Animation camp, I thought that was the other hand. Animation camp is Legos and Play-Doh using stop action.
Like claymation?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And then if the kids get bored, and they do, who doesn't? Life is up
long.
and down, and it's long, especially in a July afternoon when you're 12. So they go on Wednesday of that week to Firehouse Number 1, just around the corner here, and they get to use the big hose. And the firemen give them a tour, and they also give some safety information about boating and swimming and stuff like that. Movie making camp involves a real life script and making a short fictional narrative, like 8 minutes or so, and we get actors I mean, I've been the actor
Yes,
for that,
you've
for
been
that sci-fi
fabulous.
one and such. But there's also other actors that are like commanded.
And the thing to remember about all these camps is we're usually full. So
Right, so we
it's
did
not too
we did
early.
extra ones.
Right,
last
but it's
year,
not too early to like get your name
No,
in
that's
there
really,
and
it's
get
not too
reserved.
early. Somebody came in and got a registration form today, which I thought was shocking, but it's not too early. And then finally, and sorry to carry on like a magpie of
Well, we're
opportunity,
busy.
here is our 14th annual Western Montana High School Film Festival. The screening is going to be at the Roxy Theater where they have the Wildlife Film Festival, which we'll be talking about next. That's Thursday, May 1st. And the deadline, I can't read
I
it.
can't read either.
Categories. There's lots of categories
April
this year.
12th.
Oh, I see it now. So that's really coming up.
Yeah, I know.
Good Lord. And there can be short films entered by high school students. You can be an area high school student. You know, so that's Valley Christian, you're welcome. And that
What
other,
about like
what's the
Sealy
Catholic
Lake?
one? Yes, Sealy's welcome. I
Okay.
saw one from something White Sulphur Springs. I
That's
was
not
cleaning out
area.
the closet. Well, I don't know what happened with it, but there was an entry from White Sulphur Springs in
Well, good for them.
2006 that got into a cubby corner. So $100 prizes in like 12 different categories. So that's new. We're going to honor all kinds of genres. And there's more information on the website, mcat.org. Phew, I'm done.
My goodness, you must be exhausted.
I'm going home right now.
Well, I have nothing to say. Let's move on to the
No,
guest.
you do.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Really?
Come see the Humanities Montana website,
Okay.
humanitiesmontana.org, to get, there we are, to get a wonderful listing of all of our grants, our deadlines, our programs. Come July 1st, we will have a whole new catalog of speakers, new exciting programs.
Oh, for your Speakers Bureau.
Yes, so check that out coming down the line. But right now, I think we should move on.
We
to
really
Mike.
have to move on. Mike Steinberg is here from the International Wildlife Film Festival. He is its executive director. Mike, thanks so much for coming over.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Kim. Good to see you all.
Thanks.
What's
So
going on?
it's a
Oh, I'm supposed to
season,
tell you
right?
what's going
Yeah.
It's a season.
You are
It
busy.
is. It is.
Springtime is Wildlife Film
Springtime
Festival
is-
time.
Thank you. I'm just going to say whatever you say. Just keep saying it. We're thinking about the return of the mountain bluebird, and that
Right.
seems ideal, right? That when that happens, we know we're kind of,
That's right.
and it's happened, thankfully. And the other great sign of spring is the Wildlife Film Festival, and it's our 37th year.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing? And I think it's our 24th year for the Wild Fest, the Wild Walk, Wild Fest,
Yeah, yeah.
the parade, and then
Yeah.
the big party down at Cares Park. This year we're going to see the return of the elephant that Craig Mintier made.
Yeah, I saw that on
Oh.
the Facebook.
Yeah.
It's really big.
It's
Kim, I
coming
never
back
seen
around
it.
and-
I saw it once.
It's incredible. It takes like 6 people
You saw it in
to-
person?
Yeah.
So the elephant's coming back. Also some other big animals. And over the next 4 weeks, the ZAC is hosting free workshops for mask making for kids. And there's artists that are doing residency over that period to make big animals. Courtney Blazon is one of them.
Oh,
Craig's
wow.
also making something. Leslie Millar is in there. So, or I guess Leslie Van Stavro Millar. Let's get all of her names.
The
LVS,
third.
this is the
LVS.
third.
LVS and
Science
the third.
Woman.
Yeah.
She's also making Science Woman appearances at
Oh, that's
the
cool.
festival this year. so.
Terrific.
It's really ramped up in the kid and family realm. I mean, of course, there's the parade and the Wild Fest, but we also have our matinees every day at the Roxy and at the university, the UC Theater, with area grade schools and junior highs. We have a big music concert at the Wilma on the Friday of the festival. The Whiz Pops are playing. It's their CD
Oh,
premiere.
they're great.
And then 2 IMAX films playing that night. And we have a puppet show at the Roxy. This group
There's more
called,
kid
here's a group
stuff.
you guys should check out. They're called Bat Honey. And it's 2 local artists. They've toured all over the Northwest and beyond. And they make original musical puppet shows. They make all the puppets themselves. This one's called Squid Belly.
Sounds
It's like
good.
right up our alley,
Yeah.
So so the family stuff, and I'm a family guy. I've got 2 little girls, and so it makes a lot of sense for me. Like, yes, give me more things for these kids to do.
Yeah, no doubt.
So-
I want to tell people about the Wild Walk.
Yeah.
Because they
Right.
like to come downtown, and it's so close to MCAT, or has the route changed?
No, it starts pretty much right up at the X's, so it's
Right.
right down the road. Yeah, this year the Wild Walk is the 13th of April. It starts at 11, and then ends at Caras Park, where there's a big party called Wild Fest.
All right.
So yeah, and we really need volunteers for the Wild Walk.
Oh, good to know.
That's kind of our missing. A lot of the other things are filling in. As you know, we've kind of revamped the Roxy Theater, so we have a year-round volunteer base. So it's really not as difficult for us to scrape up box office people and concessionaires and projection.
I
We still
wanna
have
do it.
we
I
still have
just gotta
opportunities
find the time.
during the festival, as well as other Roxy programming. But the fact that we have this year-round programming made it a lot easier for us to kind of fit people in, and the regulars, the people who do Thursday night every week. So
Right.
Callista, our concessionaire, is going to be there, selling
Yeah.
popcorn like she would be anyway. So, but so some of the missing spots for us are obviously we don't do a parade every weekend.
Yes, exactly. The
having
Wild Walk
volunteers
is a
for
whole
that.
different thing. So what would volunteers be doing?
Well, they get to be very official and wear like an orange vest and have
Okay.
a microphone, a walkie-talkie.
Anytime you get a
and-
uniform.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fun,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of sort of standing at the barricades. I mean, there's no real work done other than keeping cars and keeping people out, but your presence there at the barricades, of course, helps. But you don't have to, for example, haul big, road horses into place. But
Right. And you're not issued a weapon.
you are not issued a weapon. We hope that you could get by with your charm.
That's
That would
true.
be-
Charm.
yeah, that would be enough.
Offensive.
Yeah, mainly that, and then helping to sort of direct,
Direct.
foot traffic down to the parade or down to the party itself, the Wild Fest party. So it's pretty low impact, and we have nice perks for our volunteers, tickets to the festival, and plus just opportunity to be involved with. This is
Yeah.
a really wonderful event. I've only been the director of the festival for the last year, but I've come to the Wild Fest and the Wild Walk, for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's something I've always appreciated.
Oh, it's such a part of the fabric of Missoula.
Did we say the date?
It's been flashing on the screen, and
Oh,
we
no
did.
kidding.
But let's
I didn't look over
let's
Because they're showing
say
your website.
all the
okay.
info.
And there's
There we
there's
go.
lines on the Wild
Okay.
Walk in there.
Yeah, so the festival itself is April 12th through the 19th,
Okay.
and all of the films are at the Roxy, with the exception of Awards Night, which is the 18th. That's at the Wilma, and we have a special event up at the UC Theater. The Wild Walk itself is the 13th. So we open up with this amazing film about butterflies, and then that's on Saturday. But then Sunday morning we have the parade.
Yeah.
And people who, with their little bumblebee children, want to be
Yes.
in the parade.
You show up.
Just show up.
Show up at the X's. I think I misspoke before, but it show up at 11:15. We start walking at 11:30,
Okay.
and it takes us about half an hour to get down to Caras Park.
Great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Can I talk about some of the other programming for the
Please
festival?
do.
There's something I think that, one thing I'm very excited about. We've had a residency from a couple of artists at the Roxy Theater for the last 8 months. It's Travis Yost and John Sporman, who are musicians who are in like 5 different bands.
Yeah, they are.
Both of them play with Tom Catmull and Radio Static. But they've done this silent movie residency. So they played Nosferatu on Halloween, and they did some strange puppetry animation by this Russian guy named Laszlo Starovich. And they're going to do something for us for the festival. There are 8 underwater films that started. This filmmaker named Jean Painlevy, he kind of was the first guy to take a camera underwater. He built these strange housings, so he could take these old-fashioned movie cameras under. And he made wonderful films about seahorses and octopus, and so we're going to show those films, and Travis and John will be playing live musical accompaniment to those.
Oh, that sounds
during the
really
festival.
great.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
And are they all silent
Yeah.
films? So that this is underwater
Yeah.
cinematography from the pre-sound era.
Right. So he did a combination of underwater work and staged work, like modern.
Yeah.
Not so much with modern films, but what was traditional that you would set
photo
something.
play.
Photo play, exactly, in a sort of diorama of an aquarium where he would shoot some of the detail. So it's intercut lovely. And I think there's 8 films altogether, and the first 4 are from the silent era, and then we're showing some of the later work. But since he's a French filmmaker, they were always subtitled, so we won't miss anything to remove the original soundtrack. They have this quirky, weird narrator that's in there as well, but again, it's in French, so you don't really get the full effect in English.
So when is the showing of that?
That is the Thursday. That's the 17th.
Okay.
Yes, it's April 17th at the Roxy. That event is sure to sell out. It's in a 150-seat auditorium,
Right.
but we know we've already gotten response. People called up and said, saw it on the website and known because we announced it at the last the last program that it would happen. That so are tickets available. So people are already pushing for that. So it's been fun.
They've shown the website a lot to people at home, which I think is a great idea to visit because there will be lots of films during this week, and you can choose the ones that might strike your fancy or stay around for ones that you might discover stuff. Like years ago, I discovered the Meerkats, and I was enthralled with that.
Before they were TV stars.
Before the TV stars, like
I knew 'em when.
1988 or something. The Wildlife Film Festival was
Yeah.
principally at the Wilma, and they showed some things at Crystal Theater. And that's when I didn't even know meerkats had existed, and I fell in love with them.
Wow,
People used to give me meerkat T-shirts because I couldn't stop talking about them.
that's great.
See, it
Where
could
did you get a
change your
meerkat
life.
T-shirt before the fame? That's amazing.
I don't know where they got them. I got more than
Have them
one.
airbrushed, someone.
Yeah, maybe
custom
somebody
job.
like made it for me.
Yeah.
It's insane, but I have
So
it.
everyone should go to the website,
Yes,
get a
please do,
good long
people.
look at the schedule.
Good long look. There's a lot more than wildlife films. In fact, we've expanded our programming into environmental and conservation films.
Oh, wow.
Incredible film called Damnation about dam removal in the Northwest. We're doing Werner Herzog films and
My.
like a series of 5 of those, and Herzog's relationship with the natural world. So it's there are meerkats abound, and cheetahs and killer whales and
All the stuff
orangutans.
people
and,
know and love.
but then there's more. There's more to it this
yeah.
year.
I'd expect that though, because Mike is you're a filmist. You're a
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Awesome.
That's-
yeah,
That's
he is.
what I
You
got,
love film. So
I do.
you're bringing all these different angles, the historiography element and the geopolitical social.
Wow, I am doing that. I am
Very
doing
good.
I just saw this in your lobby. There's some like vintage wildlife film playing up on the screen, and I thought, okay, we have to do this. These are so extraordinary and they're so rarely seen. We'll have to curate a series. This will be next year of just great vintage stuff.
Oh,
old
yeah.
Attenborough stuff. That's just. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to be careful because some of it's a little anthropomorphic, but
Right.
just the beauty of that old photography and yeah, it's hard
Wild
to come-
Kingdom takes me back
Merle
to
Olsen.
the melancholic Sunday
Olsen.
night.
Merlin Olsen,
Oh,
I was
yes.
just thinking of him.
Before, after Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
That's why
but
we
it was
all saw it.
around there.
Yeah.
And that started my
Mutual
sense
of
of
Omaha.
wonder. Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah.
No kid could say it. We always say,
Mutual.
just dial it.
But it's
They-
now imprinted 40
Yeah,
years
it
later,
is.
still
It
in our
is.
minds.
That
They
the world is a bigger place,
They
And
shot the
this-
studio stuff in my hometown, and I got to see that. We got to go
really?
down and see it. Yeah, the stand-up stuff where he
Yeah.
would be Dana Brown's Safari Coffee. That,
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy?
All right, we better go. I
Yeah.
see Jan and Harold are waiting in the wings. And
More
we've got
films
more.
coming up.
Yeah, we'll be right back, you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, how would you like to win $365 and many other prizes? MCAT is putting on the very first Creative Cat Film Contest. To enter, you must make a short video no longer than 2 minutes in length, and it must involve a cat, either directly or indirectly. Send us your video to contest@mcat.org. Or you can walk into our offices at MCAT at 500 North Higgins, Suite 105. As long as we can see your video, you're in.
Okay, so we drowned the fire,
Yep.
stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
And we're back with Jan and
Yes.
Harold Hoem. They're in the studio because they have spent a lot of time and effort making a documentary about coal export from Montana to China. And they got started as MCAT producers. So let that be a lesson to you.
This
You
is
guys.
an amazing
here.
story.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you.
So you want to tell it from the beginning?
I'll let you start.
Well, basically, the reason we made this film is, there were a lot of hearings going on here and in Spokane, Bellingham, and elsewhere, and we went to some of those, and it became pretty apparent that not very many people had visited this Tongue River, Otter Creek, Powder River Basin coal country. So we thought, well, why don't we go take a camera with us and see what's there? And I'd traveled all over Montana. I thought I'd seen just about all the state. I had missed that place, so it was all new to us too. And basically we thought that if you film a place, people will see it, they'll know a little bit more about it, and maybe they'll care a little more about it. So that's why we made the film.
And the place is the site of the proposed arch coal strip mining area to extract the coal.
That's correct.
That's
And once extracted, the coal is to be put on rail, come through Missoula, and make its way to Longview,
Longview, Washington.
Washington.
Broadmoor or Cherry Point, if
Wherever its
Any of those.
receiving area would be
if any
built.
of those are accepted and
Right.
built.
And the coal is to be exported to China, and China would use it in industrial, for industrial fabrication and
And
generating electricity and so on.
Mostly electricity, I
And
think.
also
this
to
coal.
other
Yeah.
Asian nations, not
Okay.
just
Right.
Yeah.
And so before you started attending these hearings and becoming interested in this whole issue, had you made films before?
no.
That's so impressive.
It is really.
It was a whole new experience for me, for both of us. But the editing portion, at one point, I turned to Christian Ackerman, who was
Yeah.
really helped me through so much of this, because I was the designated editor.
Very smart, Howard.
I said, I know I can do this, but it's the most difficult thing I've had to do since I've been an adult.
Wow.
Because it's a language that people our age don't deal with a lot, and there are yeses and nos and no in-betweens. And it was
With the computer.
a real
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jan spent a lot of time learning how to edit video on the computer at MCAT to do this project. And it puts me in mind of this story, and I think it's true, that somebody did an experiment and noticed that if when we were little babies learning to walk, we had as many failures as we did when we were learning to walk, as even a teenager, we would conclude that that was not meant to be. So like little kids fall down and then they get up and they fall
Right.
down and they get up.
And we
They-
think it's natural.
yeah, they
because
don't know
they're
any
little
better.
Kids,
Like
right.
their estimation of the rate of failure, like that this is never going to happen, has not yet formed. But by the time
Right.
we're 12, if we had the same failure rate, we'd say, I simply cannot do this,
Right.
whatever it is. So it's really wonderful when
But these
people
two
keep on.
did not.
And their
Yes.
failure rate has been no. It hasn't been tremendous, right? But you've had setbacks. I remember when you lost stuff and you had to retrace your steps
Right.
Oh.
to the people that you interviewed. And you interviewed a lot of people that live around this proposed strip
We
mining
did.
area.
We did. Yeah. And
And so now the final product is going to be on view. Is that right?
very soon, right? We just picked up the voice editing. All of that needed to be smoothed over. When you're a beginner, you don't know all the settings you should put in, and a lot of things happened that it was possible for someone who really knows this sound equipment to fix. So that's been done. On Wednesday, we lay in the last of the music, and then I think we'll be able to call it done.
Isn't that wonderful? Congratulations,
Yeah.
because they've
Thank
worked
you.
so hard for so
Yeah.
long to make this documentary. It's 33 minutes long
That's right.
in this version, and you're offering to the public for free.
Yes.
Very
And
exciting.
the date is April the 9th. The venue is the Crystal Theater, 515 South Higgins,
Mm-hmm.
right behind the Silk Road Restaurant. But it has a marquee, and they'll put
It
you up on
does.
the marquee.
It does.
It's directly across from the Missoulian building, too. And the screenings are 7 and 8:30 and free.
Oh, and we have
Yeah.
a little piece, a little trailer
That's
to
right.
show people.
Thank goodness they got the trailer, because
Right,
it
to
was
work.
a bit of a struggle before we started. So, yes, Scott, try it. Try showing the trailer.
We'd
What's
love
the
to see
title? Did
some.
we even mention it?
It is Coal Road to China.
Coal
Oh,
Road to
that's
China.
really good.
So let's see if we have a
Yeah,
little bit
let's
to
see
play
if
right
there's a
now.
bit to show you.
And whenever you're taking things that belong by right to your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, and whether it's oil or it's coal, it's a depletable mineral, and whenever it's depleted, it's gone.
We're finding out that the greenhouse gases, the mercury that comes off and the CO2, is having a very disastrous effect on our world. We're seeing increases in asthma, we're seeing increases in cancers in kids. Putting more arsenic and mercury into the environment makes no sense at all. And taking something that poisons Americans and sending it abroad is not an answer that I find to be morally acceptable. The problem also with coal is the pollution's coming right back at us on the jet stream.
This is the only place that where certain life exists. And then you wonder, well, how well are we treating it? And all this web of life that's all connected. And the answer is, we've changed the chemical composition of the atmosphere and the oceans. So we're on a dangerous path that's even immoral if you think that we're deciding what can live on a planet.
So we really have no choice if we're ever going to be serious about stopping climate change. The single biggest thing we have to do is quit burning coal.
I do believe that a coordinated global project to rewire the world with clean energy could be the first step toward peace. Peace among people and peace between people and nature.
Hey, you guys, we're back. You just saw a little bit of Coal Road to China. The film in its entirety is being offered for free in two venues on April the 9th at the Crystal Theater, 515 South Higgins, 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m., and then again on April 13th at the University Centers Theater on its third floor, presented in part with the University of Montana Climate Action Now.
Yes.
The CAN.
Those students, they're wonderful.
Well, that was a great trailer, and
was a great
I
trailer.
can't wait to see the whole thing. Thank you so much.
Thank
What an
you.
inspiring story.
Yeah.
And thanks to MCAT for all the help.
That's right.
You guys are
Yeah.
most welcome. So you're the shining exemplars of what you could do at MCAT,
Yeah,
right? You guys
that's
came
right.
with
That's right.
little or no knowledge, and
Zero.
now you've made a 33 minute documentary. So congratulations.
No excuses.
Yeah. Okay, we've got to move along. We have 3 more guests for you today on this Monday, March 24th edition of Missoula Live. So we'll be right back.
Yes.
Here's a word from one of our sponsors.
Come on, guys. Rolling? Good. When hiking in bear country like this, it's important to remember your essentials, like bear spray and knowing how to use it. Liam, where's my bear spray?
I put it in the bottom of your pack.
I didn't mean... How am I supposed to get it quickly?
When adventuring in bear country, remember, bring bear spray and know how to use it. Hike in groups, make noise, and don't run. Be bear aware.
Hello and welcome to MCAT. MCAT stands for Missoula Community Access Television. We are a nonprofit group that helps the community get into broadcasting and communication. How? I'm not sure. If it's too formal, I mean, people are just gonna be like, oh, that's boring. And then if it's too like, oh yeah, you don't give a crap, la-di-da. Are you filming this? Oops. How? We train anybody who comes through our doors how to shoot, edit, and produce videos. Whether you like to be in front of the camera or behind, we provide the equipment you need to get started, so come on down.
And we're back, you guys. I am here with 2 representatives of Missoula City government. One thing that's going on, and tonight's City Council meeting, yours truly will be at it. I might mention that Rick Phillips and I have been covering City Council for 20 years next month.
What?
Isn't that odd?
An anniversary.
Yeah, it's rather.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, I don't mind it. And there's always a story at City Hall. This story is about need in both police and fire departments, and to that end, we have as our kind guest Jason Deihl, who's the Missoula Fire Chief, and Chris Odlin, who's the Administrative Captain for Missoula City Police. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for coming over.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Our understanding is, and of course it's limited because I can't pay that much attention after 20 years.
You know everything.
That a new district is being proposed for the city of Missoula, a new tax district to answer the needs of both police and fire, and it's being called Public Safety and Justice District.
Can you explain it?
Yeah, I mean,
Right. Well, from the fire department perspective, it started out with me looking for a regular funding stream to replace our fire apparatus, which is our engines and our ladder trucks. And historically, we'd always relied on general obligation bonds, voter-approved bonds, which the community has been very supportive of over the years. But they do take a lot. They're very time-consuming and they're expensive to put on the ballot. And so, and they're also in big chunks. It's not an annual funding source. It's every few years you'd prepare and you'd go out and hope for the best. And there's also been years where we've been able to utilize the city's capital improvement program to fund that. But by and large, it's been the general obligation bonds. And the special district would provide some smaller amount, but an annual funding stream, so we could plan better, make better choices as our conditions change. I can't say that this fire engine that we have today will be operational next year or 5 years from now necessarily. And so the district would afford us to make those decisions on an annual basis and evaluate it and allow us more flexibility. So that's predominantly why the fire department is interested in the special district. Our fleet has also grown considerably over the years. So we have 7 Type 1 fire engines now and 2 ladder trucks. And our immediate need is a 1990 ladder truck that was purchased when I was brand new at the fire department.
And I remember that. Remember when we did the 4th of July? We did a campaign, and Jason and I were working on not shooting off fireworks from all these angles. The veterinarian's angle, the old person's angle, the dogs, perspective.
Yeah.
And,
But
we got a
that
couple of-
fire truck is now 24 years old.
Yeah, and I was 23 years old at the time, and I'm a little older than that now. Yeah, so we've got, the community's got great use out of it, but we're having problems with cracks reappearing in the boom structure, and it's getting to a point where, as fire chief, I'm very concerned about its safety and its ability to do its job protecting our citizens. So that's been up for replacement since '09. It just keeps getting pushed back due to funding issues. We've tried to write grants. Those are getting more competitive, and the dollars are drying up. So it's something we feel is critical, and that's why we're hopeful the community will support, the council will support this district.
Chris, what's the deal at the police department? I saw the paper today, and it had Walt Dingus.
Yes.
He's going to come over. We're going to see him next month for wood carvers. He's a big wood carver. But he looked really crowded in the evidence room.
That was
definitely.
That was a pretty scary shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, our needs are all based on the facilities. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. We also have some ongoing expenses with our Department of Justice investigation and agreement that we've entered into. So we do have some ongoing costs that are things that we don't have funded in the budget. And then we also have some, we have numerous facility needs, one being the evidence storage. That's probably our most critical need. We have evidence, everywhere. It's stacked in wooden shelves, which it's not supposed to be. It's stacked with sewer pipes and water pipes above it. And as most people know, City Hall was built in the 60s, so it is having some water and sewer issues every once in a while.
There was this winter, right? They were taking up the pavement right outside.
So, if you had a loved one who had some heinous crime committed against them, and the evidence was stored there, and it was compromised because of a sewer pipe that leaked on it, or a water pipe, and that person wasn't able to be held accountable, it would be a very big deal to you. And so that's why it's a critical need to us. We're also trying to expand our abilities to host regional training, and branch out a little bit as far as it being a regional training force, and that way we can maximize our training budget, maximize our travel budget, bring other departments to us so that we can bring in some of these big name instructors and have them teach our cops for much less than if we have to send them out of town.
Oh, sure.
Which would certainly be a huge benefit to all Missoulians.
Yes.
Because is it every other year there's the Police Citizens Academy as well?
We actually do that every year.
It's every year. So ordinary citizens can also learn what's going on. We recorded it a couple of times in 12 installments or something like that. And then the other thing the newspaper pointed out, and I'm sure there are going to be two sides. Like you look in the Missoulian comments section online, there's always rough talk there. There is always rough talk. I do. I don't know. Maybe it's morbid because a lot of times something's proposed and everyone's like, that'll never work, or like there's a lot of complaining there. But something the newspaper pointed out was that the state legislature said to all municipalities, you cannot increase the budget by more than half the rate of inflation.
Right.
More than half. So that's already saying you're losing ground every year, right?
Yeah.
So that's a kind of conservative way of looking at it, I suppose. And Missoula and the 5 major towns, they grow. I mean, this town has grown a lot. And I've been here since '83. It has grown an enormous amount. So the needs are really different.
Right.
Like, there's 4 fire stations.
5 now.
5 now.
Yes.
And that didn't used to be the case.
So this is a way of responding to that restriction that
by creating
the state has put on all municipalities.
And I will say that what I've heard a lot is why don't you fund it out of your regular budget, and that would be great, but it's never been the case in my nearly 25 years with the city of Missoula that we've had that apparatus replacement or other big ticket equipment items in our operating budget.
Right.
We've always had to go to the voters or go through another program, a grant or the capital improvement program to get that extra funding.
Yes.
And it sounds like this would be a much more regular, plannable way of approaching those sorts of
that's the idea.
purchases.
Instead of doing a 20-year bond every 5 years, to just have some regular ongoing funding. And the other thing is it doesn't add to the cost. Putting an issue on the ballot is expensive, but also all the bond counsel and the money that goes with financing that bond adds up too.
Sure.
So I see this as more less painful over the, pay it now up front as you go, and I think it's a good thing.
Well, and we'll hear more about it tonight.
Yes.
At 7 o'clock on Channel 11. You guys watching, you think, I need to learn more about it. It will be on the agenda tonight at the City Council meeting. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for trying to explain this to us.
And good luck.
Thank you.
See what happens.
Thank you.
All right. I see Linda from Public Art Committee.
Yeah.
And she's coming out next, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Right back.
Flagships helped me because the coordinators, I've been able to talk to them and they've helped me and get through hard times, and I've learned a lot of new experiences that I would have never done.
If I wasn't participating in Flagship, I would be playing video games at home.
Definitely it's helped me with, my comfort level. Also, I got better grades.
They helped me on a study skill, different tips.
The Flagship program, because after school shouldn't be an afterthought.
Let's say you were watching one of MCAT's programs not too long ago. If you or anyone you know wants a copy of our wonderful programming, call us at 542-6228 or email us at mcat.org. Ask for a dub request and tell us what you want. We'll get it to you. Walk-ins welcome. Just go to 500 North Higgins, Suite 105, just off Spruce.
Hi, my name is Sam Schultz. I'm a professional cyclist, I'm a national champion, and I'm a 2012 U.S. Olympian. But more than that, I'm a native Montanan, and I'm proud of the work being done here at home by the Montana Food Bank Network. For over 30 years, MFBN has worked with charities across the state to distribute food items to the 1 in 7 Montanans struggling with hunger, including nearly 46,000 children. To learn how you can help, please visit mfbn.org, because together there's no limit to what we can accomplish.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, okay. We have a lot of information to get out here.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna.
So we're going to introduce Linda Richards with Public Arts.
Well, Linda is on the Public Art Committee, which is a committee of the City of Missoula government.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you
for
very
being on this
much.
show.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, there's some big new projects that are going to be coming up.
Yes, well, I wanted to speak first about the City of Missoula Percent for Art program that was started in 1985. And of course, the next year, in 1986, is when the crossing sculpture that Mike mentioned earlier, the International Wildlife Festival.
Oh, the Todd Petersons.
That's it.
The X's. Yeah. Everybody knows the name.
Everyone says it's crossings. So you just need to know that that's the official title for the sculpture. Yeah. But anyway, our community is affected deeply by the art that we have. It's a reflection of who we are. Sometimes it brings controversy. The crossing sculpture, a week after it was installed in 1986, was tarred and feathered. Did you know that?
I was here for that. And in the art department, university, so it was a big deal.
Oh my gosh. Well, and anyway, so 3 years ago, we had to refurbish that, and we did with $35,000 of donations from community members. It was an amazing
See how it became a much-loved emblem after Little Tar and Feather.
And who can imagine Farmers Market without the X's right there?
That's right.
Crossings.
That's right. And lots of photographs are taken there.
Yeah.
And the
it's
fish
an icon
down
now.
at the park.
Yes, returnings.
And do you know the cat at Central Park?
Absolutely, catting around.
Catting around. That one I remember. That's
and
right.
that was Tom, who taught ceramics at the university and passed away. I can't think of his last name now.
Oh.
Who made that cat?
Ripon.
Thank you.
Ripon. Yeah. And then our latest sculpture is Go With the Flow at Park Place on the corner of Patty Street and Front Street. Yep. And that's amazing, isn't it? He really wanted to connect the river with the rest of the town. That was Mike Golan's. Yeah. And so now we have the Pineview Park. They had a special improvement district that was in 2010. and we got a percent for art for that. So now the art call is out for Pineview Park at $10,000 that we hope some artist, it could be a piece that's already created, or it could be one that is made especially that reflects the environment there, the creek, or other natural habitat, or it could be the ice hockey that's done there in the wintertime, or the children that come and play on the play structures, or also the history. There was a poor farm there and a cemetery, and Native American use was there as well.
Yeah.
So Pineview Park is that beautiful park up by Rattlesnake School.
Yes, it's flanked on one side by the Rattlesnake Creek and then by the school.
It's a great
they
location.
Call it the mid Rattlesnake neighborhood.
And what is the process for artists who think they might have something, or they just got an idea listening to you?
Okay, so they can go to the City of Missoula Public Art Committee art call, and they can sign up to receive all art calls, and they can also see a copy of the art call that we have posted there.
Great.
So art calls now go out to about 300 members in the community. It's also on the Missoula Cultural Council weekly newsletter, and that goes out, I learned this week from Tom Benson, to 1,200 people.
It's a great newsletter. I like that.
Yeah, so we're very, very grateful to have the publicity that we do for artists, because we value our artists. I learned that we have 1 in 80 in the state of Montana are making a living with their art.
Oh,
That's
wonderful.
amazing.
Could you tell people a little bit about Public Art Committee, how many members, what
Sure.
you guys typically do, and so on?
Okay, so we have actually 9 members. We have 7 that are appointed by the mayor, and that includes Marilyn Marler, who's a representative from the city council. We have 2, like myself, 1 that are appointed by the city council. Okay. So we meet once a month, the 3rd Tuesday of the month, in the city council chambers from usually about 4 until 5:30 or 6. And we have an agenda, and so right now we've been finalizing, the traffic signal boxes are coming up again. They're going to be painted, decorated with vinyl the end of August, and we have Pineview Park, and that will be installed in October, hopefully. And then we have Silver Park, that's coming up. So that's just the old mill site there, Silver Park. And we have an art call for 2 pieces of art in that. One that is a tribute to the Silver family, and one that's a percent for art project.
Oh, that's great. So you guys are keeping busy, right?
We are.
Because you have to put out the call,
Yes.
solicit, and then do you guys act as the jury to select the artist for percent or other commissions?
We actually have a selection committee, and the selection committee, let's say for Pineview Park, there are some members who are in that community, some from the Public Art Committee, and could be that we would have someone from Parks and Recreation as well.
Oh, I see. So you make up for the site-specific sort of who works through the application.
Absolutely. And then for the traffic signal boxes, we have neighborhoods that have gotten grants, and so they'll be represented on that selection committee.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's a great component, because the people who are most invested in what will be in their community have a say as well.
And then for Silver Park, we have MRA who's invested.
Sure.
They've thrown in some money for that, quite a bit. And then the Silver Park Foundation, and then again, members from the Public Art Committee.
Yeah. And so this is not limited. Often when I thought of percent for art projects and other commissions of that nature, that it had to be sculpture. But it doesn't have to just be sculpture.
Pineview Park, we actually have 2 locations, one that's by the tennis courts that we've selected, and one that's on the side of the shed that's right by the ice rink that they have in the wintertime there. And then it could be the artist choosing could select a site. So sometimes an artist will go, and I understand there was one there on Sunday morning when Jenny Miriam was walking through with her dog. And he was there, taking a look and trying to decide where he wanted to put his art.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
So the website, if you're an artist,
They did show it, the Public Art
There
Committee.
we go.
But Linda, is this okay for them, for the public to go to?
Absolutely.
Is there another
You can
place
see where the
that says
announcements
Art
are.
Call,
Right.
Pineview Park,
And if-
Art Call traffic signal box.
Click on that.
And as I say, they can also join the Notify Me so that every time we have an art call, they can be alerted
On a
to
list.
that.
Right.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Well, thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you
and
for
waiting to
having
be
me.
on and telling people about public art.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. And we have one more guest, you guys. Mary Drew Powers is here
Oh,
from
Mary.
Missoula Public Library, and she's going to talk about some spring events there for our final guest on this edition of Missoula Live. We'll be right back.
Are you interested in pursuing a job in television and need experience, or are you interested in picking up a new skill? Missoula Community Access Television is a place for you. MCAT can get you trained and ready so you can hit the ground running in television. Call us at 542-6228 or email us at mcat.org.
Here's your bear spray, babe.
I don't need it. I can outrun them. Look, I ran track in high school.
No, you can't. You're not supposed to run from bears. And you did the shot put.
Okay, I'll spray down.
What? No, don't spray it!
Ah! My face is burning! My face is burning now!
When hunting in bear country, understand it puts you at risk. Be smart, be safe, be bear aware.
We are back with Mary Drew Powers. She's here from Missoula Public Library. Thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for having me. It's always fun to come here.
Good.
Well, there's always so much going on at the library. What's coming up this time around?
Well, I'll just talk about one thing, because you're right, there's always so much going on at the library. And our new makerspace is having their first Makers Ball repurposed fashion show and contest. So we're calling out to all fashionistas and designers who want to design something from repurposed materials, and we also have 4 classes at least in the makerspace coming up the rest of this month and in April. So you can come. The first one, for instance, is wearable electronics, sewing wearable electronics. Because, of course, there's electronics in the makerspace. People use their little Arduino processors. And so we'll have somebody showing people on the makerspace sewing machine how to incorporate those into their whatever they're making, their jean jacket or whatever.
So you can beep or transmit or glow
Audio
in the dark or
you can have arrows, and wear your vest when you're riding your bike. I'm going that way. Something like that. And then here I have an example of a book purse.
I love these.
This is an American Indian.
I love these.
The name of this book is The World of the American Indian, and it came just like this. And the person who's teaching that class, Jessica, made this purse. See, it opens like that. There's my notes in case I forget what I'm going to say. So she's teaching a class. The wearable electronics is tomorrow night, and there's still space.
March 25th.
And if I look in my notes here, it'll tell me that class is at 5:30. And then next Monday, Jessica will be teaching the book purse class, and we have a lot of books there. You can bring your own or any materials you might want to add to your book and to your purse.
Right.
See
and
there?
so by choosing,
repurpose the handles.
This is brilliant. By choosing your book, you can also determine the size of the purse.
Right.
An evening bag. Or
just
something of that nature.
Nice.
And the spine is in this example.
And
Spine's
I
preserved.
thought she added material, which you can do, but she said no. This
That
book
was
came
the
just
cover.
like
It was
that.
bound that way.
So
yeah, and you could choose a book. Like kids can have a Nancy Drew or Hardy
Right.
Boy. I mean,
Oh
I think it was
yeah,
a great
love
idea.
It's like those lunch boxes. And then besides that, we have a class on the Fascinator, which is it's a versatile kind of headwear. Think about Ascot or the royal wedding where people were wearing little discs with these things that went up.
Right.
And so Megan is going to teach how to make fascinators, and you can just bring materials that you're interested in. I want to bring book pages and old library, those little things that used to put your card in the book. So I'm gonna see if I can make something. What are they called?
Your
Card
date
sleeves.
stamped.
Yeah.
Whatever they were
Anyway,
called.
yeah.
The due date in a little pocket.
You know, in the pocket.
Right
cue
after
card.
Thanksgiving, I was wearing an artist made it. I would not have been capable. The book hat that I had that had a huge quill, for writing, and it was the
Oh, that's
pages of a
brilliant.
book, and
Yeah.
it got me on the front page of the Missoulian.
Well, see.
I think I
and
saw that, yes.
somebody came into the bookstore and said, you're wearing a fascinator. And I hadn't heard that term before.
I didn't know that they were called fascinators either. I just thought they're
It
weird
sounds
hats.
very Victorian because I remember being confused by the gentleman's quizzing glass. And a quizzing glass was for when, your eyes fail, you hold out a magnifying glass to read the fine print and quiz the menu. or
So the
whatever.
Fascinator class is when?
That's April 7th. That's Monday also. So we have the book purse class is next Monday, the 31st, and then the following Monday will be April 7th where we have the Fascinator. And the following Monday, April 14th, we have Linda Cohen, the steampunk lady, coming in and showing you how to do steampunk accessories or just how to add steampunk to your fashion.
Wow.
So we have all those classes.
You guys have got it going on.
Now, for people who aren't aware of the newest, hottest term that's going across America, can you briefly explain what makerspace is?
That's a great question. A makerspace started out being a place for people who called themselves hackers to come in and just work with electronics and do stuff. It has come into the lexicon now more in the do-it-yourself realm.
DIY.
And so people come into the makerspace, and depending on the makerspace, they can do whatever. I could say that the ZAC or the MAM both have makerspaces.
Sure.
One is screen printing, and the other is another kind of printing.
Yeah. Or MCAT. We're a makerspace
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
people come and make video.
And at the library, we have things that people can use: a sewing machine. People can use a 3D printer. We have
You
a 3D
showed us that
scanner.
snowflake when you were on last,
right.
created with a 3D
So it's dramatically expanding what you think of a library as providing. It's hands-on, learn to do something.
Well, libraries are all about citizen participation and the exchange of ideas and getting information to the citizens. So this is just another way of doing that.
What a great lineup you've got for the next month.
And for people that are tracking what we're saying, but like me, dates go in and out, MissoulaPublicLibrary.org.
MissoulaPublicLibrary.org. We still have space for designers to sign up. We have a third grade class signed up. They're going to design. I have no idea what that's going to be like. And if you watch our little slideshow, there'll be a slide that says the Maker's Ball. You can click right on there. It'll take you to the rules and where to sign up and tell you all about the classes.
That's really great. Well, thank you so much for coming over.
You're welcome. Thanks
We'll
for
probably
having
see
me.
you in about a month. And I have one final announcement. Tomorrow, if you're watching us live right now, tomorrow, Tuesday, March 25th, is the Missoula Cultural Council's annual awards luncheon, where they honor people in Missoula who have contributed very important things to Missoula's culture. And Joel Baird, the general manager of MCAT, will be awarded the Cultural Visionary plaque, and it's a very nice plaque.
Oh, because Kim got one last year. So
we're keeping it all on the show,
Right?
But we're very, very proud, and it can't go to a more deserving Missoulian.
Very kind. Well, that's it for the show. I'll just go and glow.
Yeah.
We will see you in 2 weeks' time on April 7th. And as always, thank you for watching this edition of What's Up Missoula. If you know of a group and you want to see them on our program, call me at MCAT. The number is 542-6228. For MCAT, I'm Joel Baird.
I'm Kim Anderson. See you in 2 weeks.
Hey, baby, wanna go for a ride?